There are some things in this world we don't understand. Things not mentioned within the textbooks that are used, supposedly, to teach us everything we need to know about life. But not everything we encounter in life is ever brought up, until the day we come face to face with it. One cold January night, a man, a toy enthusiast, found himself in the middle of just such an unforeseen event.
I got two models here. The first one is, Dunbine. And yeah, one thing I noticed immediately is that this, even though it has a big box, the scale I just said means that it's almost going to be this size, if not smaller, which is weird to me. You know, it's like you see HG and you think HG, you know, as in Gundam, and they're usually 1/144th, and you know, they're about this tall. Only the thing is, Dunbines, Aura Battlers, are a lot smaller in alleged real life, meaning that when you have a scale like that, they're going to be really small, you know? So, yeah, it might actually be smaller than this when done. What is the other thing I bought? I got Aura Battler Leprechaun. And I'm not going to review this right now, for the simple reason I'm not going to probably build this. I have plans for this. I have plans for its parts depending on how large they turn out to be. But yeah, that's something I will come back to at a later video. It's not now. Back to the model. Yeah, we got Dunbine, very stately looking thing. Now right away I see a problem. Okay, here we got very clear wings here. Okay, these are pretty damn milky. Pretty damn milky. What I'm wondering though is, if I were to use like a clear wash on this, like a gloss kind of thing, would it turn them looking more like that? I really don't know. And also, I hate yellow, so I'll probably green it up just a little bit using a stained glass wash paint. Because, you know, I mean, even in a cartoon, sometimes it would look green, sometimes it would look yellow, sometimes it would look a different color. So I might actually just turn that into a slightly more green. Let's see. Notice the color purple here. It's more close to this than it is to that one. And I don't think, like, I was trying to remember if that Toys R Us version, oh, by the way, that's actually not, well, I mean, it was sold at Toys R Us, but that's actually from Clover. Clover had the rights to do Aura Battler Dunbine, and they changed like, depending on what size you bought, they varied greatly. But this one is actually really, really close to what the animation was, so that's probably my favorite. Anyway, the color, as you can see, is nothing like his. It's more, you know, like the anime was, even if that's cooler looking. And, yeah. So I'll tell you what, instead of trying to sit here and, you know, talk about the parts too long, I think that I will just build him. Look at that, his canopy's like all clear green see-through. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's pretty dark, very dark actually. And it has weird stickers. Yeah, I noticed these are pink, and I guess that's for his, you know, around his upper leg with those little domes. I don't think I like that though. Pink, I don't remember it looking pink in the show. But yeah, very little stickers. Oh god. Yeah, look at the size of his feet, and look at the size of his feet, and then look at the size of these feet. These feet are about in between here. Yeah, so like I said, he's going to be probably smaller than that. And also, here's his sword. It's much more like that one is. And yeah, just going by the sword size, I can tell that he's probably going to be smaller than that guy. Which is weird. Which is damn weird. I mean, there you have his upper leg. It's all chunky. And here you have this guy's upper leg, which is kind of, yeah, if not the same size, a little bit smaller. Anyway, let's see how this goes. I'm going to build this first.
Nothing out of the ordinary was taking place until boredom had led the man to pick the model back up and start to build it. What happened next is something no one should ever encounter. And luckily, with the footage remaining of these goings-on, he can tell us the story through his own words.
Yeah, there's something in this that I'm really rather wary of seeing again. In the very first part of the instructions, it shows, I believe, leg joints. And it uses these. These are all squishy. Even the hands themselves are squishy. Which is really weird to me. Yeah, it looks like there's holes in the hands. Like maybe the sword has to go in through a peg. But yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, back in the 80s, Bandai had a model kits called Patlabor. And in that, you would have joints, but then you would put a squishy sleeve on the outside. They kind of had like fucking underpants almost. It was like long johns. And it was a really bad idea. The reason being was the plastic joints that were inside the rubber housing, if they popped off, they would be inside rubber housing. You couldn't reconnect them. And that's a very bad thing. And the second bad thing was that over time, the rubber actually reacted with the plastic and ate it. So you had these mushy, squishy, horrible joints hiding inside rubber, and it was just like goo inside, and it was really sad. So, being as this set came out in the year 2000, as opposed to the 80s, I hope to hell that they've corrected the plastic devouring problem. It does feel very different from the Patlabor rubber that, you know, they used to have. Ew, it's like all dusty. There's like a weird film on this stuff, too. Yeah, well, hopefully it doesn't do anything bad. Hey, now this is crazy. I'm only on step 1 and 2, and already things are fucked up and things are broken. Let me show you. On this piece, when you break it off the sprue, right here, you have this ugly nub that's left in the center between these two vines. And if you try to correct that by bending this and then snipping, almost guaranteed you will cut off a little notch there that you don't want. And that's really shitty. And on top of that, upon putting this joint into this joint and turning it, there is already a hairline crack in this at the top. Isn't that insane? I mean, I turned it and it went... I was like, you gotta be kidding. It broke already? I mean, it's still got a somewhat stiff joint. I mean, it might still work. It might still function. It's actually still got tension. It's just complete horseshit that a crack has occurred. And I heard that same crack when I was building this one, so I'm guessing it's on this one too. But seriously, step 1, literally step 1, and already there's a crack. That's insane. And let me just check to see if it actually did happen on this one too. Yep, sure enough, there is a hairline crack in this one as well. Yeah, and there's nothing I didn't do right here. I mean, I cut off enough of the sprue so that there's no catching on anything. It's just, I don't know. They just poorly manufactured it. That's a real pitiful thing. You know, it's times like this I wish people would just stick to, like, Beast Wars joints from, like, Hasbro, you know? And just make them a little bit better, because this is nuts. You should not have a kit from Bandai breaking in step 1. How...
Whatever forces were at play would not be satisfied with all that had already taken place. All through the night, the impossible would return again and again, as if with the intention to taunt him into abject madness.
This fucking model is proving to be an insane pile of shit. My fucking god. Here's the pelvis. Okay, the pelvis is complete. Well, not for that side, but the pelvis is complete. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to take this and stick it in there. I did. What happened? Very first thing. Snap. It breaks. The cup that fits into broke. Oh my god! You know, it... Oh my god. That's gonna be a bitch to fix now. Let me see. How can I fix that? I don't know. I'll have to manage to pry this apart without breaking the joint that's already broken in the knee and somehow attach a new cup there. Ooh, boy, am I pissed off. Why is all the plastic shattery? All the black plastic on this is shattery. What's also crazy? The pelvis, the pelvic region, has no snap connectors. There's nothing holding side A to side B. The only thing that holds it there is these rubber sleeves and these pushing in on it, you know, having the legs connected. That's the only thing that holds this together. There's nothing there. Oh joy! And look, upon taking this apart, the lower legs apart so I could get to the upper part, I find a little piece of broken plastic, and this piece apparently is broken too. Good fucking god. It's like, I don't know what's going on. All the black plastic in this model is shattery. You know what? I'm really tempted to not even finish. God, this is driving me nuts. Everything here on sprue A, the black plastic is shattering. And as if I needed any further proof, here is more pieces of black plastic right here. And that is coming from inside his pelvis right here. Yeah. So, yeah, all the black plastic is shattering. I just don't know what to do about that. It's really sucky. To try and fix that would be extensive, because it would require building the limbs, but then actually putting in different poly caps, gluing them in, along with different extensions going into the new poly caps, you know. Yeah, the black plastic is shattering. It sounds like I'm doing like a call sign for an emergency. The black plastic on sprue A is shattering. Please transmit this information on all emergency channels. Well, further proof. Oh my god, this is getting stupid. Upon trying to place this into this, as you can see, little bits of black plastic. Jesus fucking God. This thing is just beyond all hope. Oh, you suck so hard, Bandai. You know what's funny? I whipped out the Leprechaun model, and I was like, I'm going to do something different. Unlike the Dunbine model, I'm going to take pegs before I try to fit them together, and I'll slightly shave them down on every side. And I did that. I carefully shaved them down just a little bit so the friction was almost nothing. You know, and that's all well and good. I get to this peg right here, and I start whittling very cautiously up it. I mean, I'm talking super gentle. And just an upward stroke on the very first pass, the peg goes tink and goes shooting off like a couple feet across the room. These things are defective. It is so sad. It's not the end for this figure, believe it or not. Even though every single black piece of plastic is broken. It's not the end. I can still fix this. But, like I said, I am disgusted, so it will be a long time before I even want to look at this. As I thought, he's just about the same size. No, he is actually shorter than this guy. As far as coloring goes, he's way too pale. I mean, he was paler in the cartoon, but not this pale. You know, it's actually, this is probably matching the cartoon far better than this is. It's probably a mix. Something in between these two would be closer to the color. It's funny, isn't it? You have a character, and here's 3 representations of it, and not one of them gets the color right. Isn't that just freaky? It's like weird. Yeah, it's a pity. It's just a crying shame what this is. I'm really surprised by it too. I mean, you have, like I said, Bandai had Patlabor, and their problem was exactly what's happening here. You know, you had rubber pieces covering up pieces of plastic that cracked really easy. It just amazes me that in the late 80s I bought Patlabor models only to find that they redid that same kind of problem back in later on in 2000. That's just obscene to me. So, at some point when I really am able to look at this again, I'll probably just completely remake a new skeleton for it inside out of other parts and stuff that I have sitting around for other figures, you know, because I have joints all over the place. I can actually fill up each body part, you know, with putty even, and, you know, drill holes for new joints, you know. I could dissect a Beast Wars Transformer or something and reuse his joint system for this, you know. Anything. I mean, this is not a lost cause. What would be a lost cause is if the actual limbs, like anything purple there you see, were the parts that were cracking. At that point, it would be completely pointless. Yeah, it's just a pity. This should not be happening in the year 2000. This is just obscene. I mean, and I mean that word exactly. It's obscene. Let's see. Here's his Aura Blaster, and here's his sword. Let's see what the length is on this. This guy has his own problems. Let's see. Looking at that, yeah, that's still really smaller than that sword. It's so hard to get this right, isn't it? None of these figures are perfect. I mean, as you can see, this guy's joints pop out a lot. In fact, I don't even want to move it because I know that'll pop off, and that will probably pop off. This one's not perfect because it has separation going on at the shoulders and stuff. And he also doesn't have upwards arm movement, which kind of sucks. But it's still a good figure. I mean, do I like these figures? Yeah, I like this figure. It's cool for what it is. It was meant to be sold in bus stations and train stations for cheap, and it pulled it off well. It even added a dumb little feature to it. that the other ones don't have. That's kind of cool. Then this Clover bootleg version, that's a pretty good representation of it. I can't complain. This is probably my favorite version, even if the color is a bit too dark, but the dark color also makes it look cool too. And it has 2 pilots, it's just a really nice figure. I love it. The sword doesn't match what it really is supposed to look like, but it's still just a great looking figure. I love it. If only the joints didn't pop out like crazy. Even back in the 80s, it was doing that. And this one, its problems are obvious. The color purple is way too light, and also the entire black infrastructure is shattered. Oh god, yeah, and this is terrible. Look at this. It's like his hand is also made of rubber. It's like, you have rubber parts for the shoulder guard here. You have rubber parts and making it look organic, where it comes out of the mecha, to the armor and stuff. But then they went and made the hand rubber too. This, what is this limp wrist stuff? And he holds his sword by putting that peg into his hole in his hand, and yeah, like that's really gonna stay in there really well. Oh, Jesus God. This is just... Oh, man. It's just... Oh, God. It just pisses me off, like, beyond words. This is weak. This is just really weak. There's just no excuse for that. And to fix that, I don't know. The hand itself is rubber. And it's too fine for someone of my level to cast. I couldn't cast that right. No way. I don't know. I was kind of hoping, maybe the sword would match that and I could, swap the sword, but this is still too small. It's barely bigger than the other one. Oh my god. And as far as the Aura Blaster, because in the cartoon, he actually did have one of his Aura Blasters on his arm, but it doesn't really fit. It's like the hooks on his wrist guard kind of are supposed to fit through these holes, and it only fits through his holes because they're tiny. So that would I'd probably have to take that piece off and rework the tabs on here. I'd have to construct new tabs to make them fit that. And even at that, it's still too small for this figure. Man. At the end of the day, this one wins. It just does. None of these figures are really going to be doing much more than sitting on a shelf and looking pretty. That will be like their only job. And that's the one I would go with. Because, not just nostalgia from having had ones like it in the past, but also the fact that it just looks better. What a pity. What a terrible, terrible pity. Am I going to try to get any more Dunbine models? No. No more. And I imagine that this poor bastard, the Leprechaun... Oh, jeez. I imagine this Leprechaun Aura Battler has the same problems, because I can see right here it has the rubber, has the rubber, has the rubber. So you can guess that, Sprue A is going to be shattering as well. Yeah, but that's okay, because I did get that just for the armor. I have a custom in mind of completely different... From a completely different show, actually. Yeah. It's a pity. It's just a pity. Oh my god.
So, how did a model with flawed technology from the 1980s find itself flung far into the future in the year 2000? What mysterious forces were at play that could transport something horrific a decade forward? Was it simply a case of bad toy design? Was it internal sabotage at the company itself? Or was it something darker, something unspeakable and hidden just out of our view. It is unknown whether the model was ever completed. All we do know is that it took a part of that man's wallet with it. But is that all it took? Could it not be assumed, based on the footage, that perhaps not just money was taken from him, but perhaps a small chunk of himself? Is it possible for a normal person to anticipate something joyous, only finding sadness and horror, and still remain whole? Should we be so arrogant as to simply say the man took toys too seriously? Would that not just be us trying to make sense out of that which is too shocking to be described? A placebo to the fact we're truly frightened that one day this could be us, or someone we know, perhaps our own children. Thank you for taking this walk with us along the path of the dark unknown. If you like what we're doing, please like this and hit the subscribe button. Any financial support you wish to give can be facilitated through the links below. We hope you join us next time. This has been Scary Spooky Tales of Bedtime Nightmare Horror Creepy Stories of Mystery Death Room Oddity Paranormal Haunted Ghost Killing Floor from the Deep Darkness and Terror. Good night. Stay hidden. Don't look to your right.